Hey, welcome back Design Squad. Welcome to this Design Tool Tuesday. And if you're new to this, Design Tool Tuesday is about me sharing some great design tools I usually recommend to my peer designers, my junior designers, anyone who would benefit from a new tool, new awesome resource, or an app which enhances what you do best. And so just a few days ago, I discovered this little gem. And sometimes you just, encounter a website, which, it's not necessarily an interactive tool per se or something which you can add to your toolkit, but something you should actually know or just use it once in a while when you need to. And this is really it, called uxtimeline.com, so you can hit it up immediately. It's totally free, and it's basically a depository of known services, known tech houses. You definitely know Canva, Deliveroo, Dribbble, Trello, and so forth, Spotify's, Netflix, Airbnbs, and the like. And it basically creates a UX timeline for each of these products, from the launch, from their proof of concept, MVP, let's say, which hit the market, all those versions, up until now, up until today, and how it evolved over time. So for example, Netflix, one of the examples I was just going through, is really cool because it's basically, it gives you a little bit of a history, just a little bit, just enough, so when it started. And it's really good to keep that in mind, to know exactly how, if you're a little bit entrepreneurial, how long it really takes for great services and products to get traction. And it's laughable when people think that in a year or two you can pick up and become the next Netflix or next Airbnb. It's just so much involved, so many dependencies, and it's not only about user needs and answering it. It's so many more aspects to it. It's so much of a growth hacking which has to come in place. But I digress. Anyways, coming back to it, you're gonna notice that year by year the big milestone redesigns are basically mentioned here. So this is how it started. It looks, for the old school design, it was great. And then it evolved into more customer-centric, human-centric, displaying the actual experience and how people feel. And over time, it went into a little bit more of a brochure-like approach. It changed the business model, and so the actual front end had to adapt to the front end experience and the customer portal itself. And if we fast forward to today, as you can see, it's much more up to date and much more what you see today there. If we jump to, let's say, next one, for example, Producthunt, it started just as a list of different submissions from, people like yourself or myself and, anyone else who likes to tinker and develop new products. And if you fast forward to today, you have this type of approach and evolution, and it was just a few steps. But you can actually notice exactly what we went through and what changes we made. Same for Dropbox. It started as a simple email submission where you can sign up. And if you look it back, it looks quite cringe, for the standards of those days, for 2009, that was amazing. But if you look at, today's standards, it's not great. And if we fast forward, you're gonna notice that there was a big redesign in Dropbox case just a couple of years ago. As you can see, we rolled out with new brand with very flat, quite questionable if you ask me, visual identity, which is very common these days. But as you can see, up until 2019, there was no change apart from rolling out that identity. And it's all customer facing portals. So I like this UX timeline because it gives you an overview exactly what, each service went through. And one more example, which is, I think, almost everybody's using it today, is Spotify, is where it started. And it again started as an MVP, which is very bare minimum, bare bones, and it evolved year by year into a portal which actually gives you an overview of what you can expect as an end user. And as you can see, the actual visual identity of it, the layout evolved as well. And it's pure web design, customer centric, gives you an idea of how do the brands evolve. There is always a certain bit in time where is a big jump from one identity to the other. And that's what I personally like to look at and see exactly, hey, that's where their design capability got invested into, the trust in design got invested into. We probably evangelized the hell inside the company to get the actual human-centricity and design inside and just break things. Must have been a massive trust in design to make these change happen. And if we fast forward to today, you're gonna see that back to more of a flat outlook, and everybody knows Spotify already. Very easy to convey what we do and what we do great. So this is UX Timeline. There is so many more services out there. You're gonna need to just explore yourself and check it out. But it's one of those things which I would recommend to bookmark for anyone who wants to view of how things evolved. And I love these things. I love to look back and see exactly how design changed, how the expectations from businesses and even users changed. You know, what looked amazing back in the day now looks total shite, and you know, rightfully so, because that's what design is, because it evolves over time, and that's what we're here for, to support it. And so if you like this video, give a like. If you like this service, this tool, bookmark it. Follow them on Twitter as well. There is a UX Timeline handle, so you can do that too. Give them feedback. As per usual, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so, and until next time.